Welcome back to another episode of Power of Healthy Habits. And today I'm breaking my weekly fast with guacamole. 1 egg, using some cucumber slices as the dipping or the dipper, and maybe some baked corn chips. This guacamole I made with 1 avocado, 1 tomato, about 1/4 of white onion, maybe a tablespoon of beetroot, a little bit of black pepper, turmeric, and I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne here as I go along. So one of the things that I've noticed and realized is that I am breaking an addiction, and sometimes it's an addiction that most of us don't know that we have, and that addiction is to food or to eating. A lot of times we say we're addicted to food, and by definition, some of the things that we're eating isn't food. So I'm going to say, for myself, it's been an addiction to eating and sometimes just chewing. But here we have it. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be delicious. I also seasoned it with a little bit of salt and some lime juice. One of the things that I've learned helps me to break my addiction is to start eating slower. And since I fasted, I know that my stomach has shrunk, and I don't know how small it is, but I know that I can force it if I overeat to expand past the point in which it's full. So I'm going to try and stay focused on eating with my left hand. That's one way. That's one tool I've used to make sure I slow down my eating and am chewing and consuming what I have in my mouth before I go for another bite. And it also just helps you think about what your body is telling you. If your body is telling you you're full, you actually have time to process it. And I have other things to break the fast with, but right now I'm just going to start with the guacamole and cucumber. So here we go. This is my first real bite in over 40 hours. So of course, when you're chopping and preparing the meal, you take little tastes and things like that, but this is the first real bite. That first bite is always, you can just feel life coming back. Not that life was going away, but the flavors are so rich. It's just always like a healthy surprise. Deliciousness, essentially. And you can season your guacamole however you like it. I like these vegetables, and adding salt, a little bit of salt after you add each component helps. So chop up the onions, sprinkle a little salt on the onions. Chop up the tomato, sprinkle a little salt on the tomato. Cut up the the avocado, which I used half avocado this time. Sprinkle a little salt, and so on and so forth. And then once it's all mixed together, you'll probably have enough. You're not taking a teaspoon and dumping it in there, but just enough to cover whatever you just chopped up. The cucumber also helps with giving you some crunch and added texture. Sprinkle a little cayenne, which is great. I don't want to do too much. That's enough. trying to stay away from big bites. This is actually a big bite. So trying to stay away from big bites also helps with the body being able to digest and consume reasonable quantities of food as you're eating. It's so good. I know people sometimes just don't think they like avocado or guacamole specifically. I used to be one of those people because I really didn't know what it was. One great thing about avocado, and maybe it's a curse, is that it doesn't have a strong flavor. So if you season it with just a little bit of sea salt and add other things that you know you like if you like onion, bell pepper, jalapeno pepper, whatever it is you like, those flavors will stand out over the avocado. I think for me also is I just never saw it in the house. I never saw guacamole at home. So it just doesn't look like anything I'd ever eaten before, in my opinion. Like dill dip, something I'm accustomed with just growing up, or other types of dip, or using ranch dressing, but how often do you have like a green condiment? You know, little bite of the egg. Boiled to perfection. This is really good. Another thing I've learned, and it took me probably 5 to 10 years to become more comfortable with eating without utensils. It's just a different experience, and it's something that it's a part of the consuming process after you really start understanding the place food is supposed to have in your life, where many of us outside of work, the next most important thing after family is eating, or eating is the next most important thing. So experiencing other cultures and eating foods with your hands is definitely something that I enjoy more. Growing up, the most common foods that I ate with my hands are like hot dogs, hamburgers, tacos, pizza, nachos, things of that nature. But I've learned to eat whole meals with, I wouldn't say soup, but things that are typically more difficult to eat with your hands. Of course, you would have like some type of bread or some type of tortilla or ugale, something to kind of absorb liquid, but it's still a different experience. I'm not suggesting that you should run out and start eating with your hands, but since I'm eating and using, in lieu of a chip, the cucumber, and it's all vegetables, it just brought that to the front of my mind. Sometimes I'll repeat to myself, listen to your body, listen to your body, listen to your body. Because when you start eating foods that you know you like, or if you're telling yourself that you're starving, I I come to realize that I've never been starving, fortunately. I don't ever want to be. And if you tell yourself after going on fast that I'm starving, I need something to eat, I can't take it no more, then subconsciously and consciously you're going to respond in that way, and you're probably going to try and consume everything that you see. But the big thing is you fasted already. Most of us fast every day. We just don't consider it. You go to sleep at night, you wake up, you don't necessarily have to eat breakfast. Most people don't eat first thing in the morning, meaning they wake up, forget about going to the bathroom at all, and just start eating. Given that, that means that you could probably go a few hours without eating. And as you stack up more time and elongating your fast, you can cautiously start breaking the fast with healthy foods. Avocado has some of the healthiest fat that you can find, and the other vegetables, to my knowledge, are just also good for you. Beetroot, I know, is good for you, especially with helping to regulate the blood pressure. Protein in the egg. I sprinkled a little salt on my egg. Not a lot. And just keeping that at the front of your mind when you're breaking fast. I'm not starving. I don't need to overeat. I can feel now that my body is saying, okay, I'm getting food. I'm not starving. I might even be close to half full. It's just important not to break fast with the wrong foods in an excessive amount. You'll probably feel worse eating the wrong foods than you would if you just continued to fast. These are baked, no oil, just corn tortillas. It's one of the reasons why I like these. That's real good. Really good. Another word of caution. You don't really realize it happened to me just now. When I went from eating the cucumber to eating with these tortillas, I started consuming more. And part of that is because the surface is larger, so you can put more on it. And even though I'm doing most of the work with my left hand, I just subconsciously found a way to add more volume in each bite. So these are just things that I'm picking up myself. I'm just learning and wanting to share, and really just want people to know that they're not the only one. regardless of where you are. If you're by yourself, you don't really have people that you're talking to, especially black men. We tend to not focus on what we're eating, how we're eating it. We really just don't have time, especially if you have a family, full-time or full-time plus job, for those of us that are workaholics. And this is very important to our bodies, to our overall lifespan. And learning how we're supposed to be consuming is important. I know we don't have a lot of time, but if you end up in a situation where you won't have time, I think it would be good to make time for this. Another fact, I think cucumber is 80% water. Another beautiful thing about using the vegetables is they're much easier on your teeth than the chips. These chips are not too bad, but there are some that get overcooked and are really hard. I actually broke a tooth eating chips one time, and I was surprised, but just another little fact. So good. And this was about 1/3 of a cucumber that I cut up. And honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. So if I truly listen to myself, I'll need to just take a break and finish my fruit in maybe 30 minutes or so, because I'm feeling relatively full. So appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, share it with your friends. Peace.